The news day continues here on One News Now. I'm Diego Castro, bringing you the biggest headlines from around the world. The United States and China have reached an agreement to stabilize the rivalry and prevent it from escalating into a conflict. This was announced by U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken following his meeting with Chinese President Xi Jinping on Monday. China, however, rejected Washington's request to restart military-to-military communication channels, citing U.S. sanctions as the main obstacle. Both parties also stood firm in their stand on various issues, including the geopolitical tension in Taiwan and the war in Ukraine. Nevertheless, both sides agreed to continue diplomatic talks, with plans for more visits by senior U.S. officials to China in the coming weeks.
I raised U.S. concerns about the PRC's provocative actions in the Taiwan Strait, as well as in the South and East China Seas. As we work to address our differences, the United States is prepared to cooperate with China in areas where we have mutual interests.
International donors pledged nearly $1.5 billion in humanitarian aid to Sudan following the United Nations call for assistance. This comes amid continued fighting between Sudan's army and paramilitary forces. The UN earlier said that about $3 billion is necessary to support refugees fleeing the country. Germany has since pledged 200 million euros, while the US and Qatar committed to donate $171 and $50 million respectively. The UN is also allocating an additional $22 million to address urgent needs. The violence in Sudan has killed over 3,000 people and transformed several regions, including capital Khartoum, into a battleground. British lawmakers vote to approve a report that recommended sanctioning former Prime Minister Boris Johnson. This is over Johnson's alleged attempt to mislead the parliament over rule-breaking parties held during the COVID-19 pandemic. Lawmakers voted 354-7 to endorse the privileges of the report, which concluded that Johnson should have his parliamentary pass revoked. Had he not already quit, a 90-day suspension from Parliament had also been recommended against him. Johnson abruptly resigned from Parliament 10 days ago after seeing an advanced copy of the report, calling the inquiry a witch hunt. We'll be back with more stories after the break. Keep it here on One News. You're still watching One News Now World. I'm Diego Castro. Ukraine is negotiating with Western arms manufacturers about boosting weapons production. Ukraine's Deputy Minister for Strategic Industries, Sergei Boyev, says Kyiv could sign contracts in the coming months. This comes after Boyev courted drone makers in particular, at the Paris Air Show on Monday. However, he declined to say which companies he met with. Kyiv says it is expanding its drone program for both reconnaissance and attacking enemy targets over an increasing range. Besides gaining advantages and winning the war, Ukraine also says boosting arms production would be good for the region.
Winning the war is essential, it's our primary objective, but the future deterrence of aggression will require strong defense industry of Ukraine, a strong armed forces of Ukraine, but also both defense industry and armed forces should be part of the NATO and the European security. And that's why we think international partners coming into Ukraine, setting up production, making Ukraine part of the security framework for the free world is so essential.
The US and Canada have deployed air and sea resources to locate a missing submarine. The submarine on a tourism expedition to explore the wreckage of the Titanic has gone missing off the coast of southeastern Canada. Both the US and Canadian Coast Guards are using visual and radar searches to locate the craft and rescue the people on board. It was not immediately clear how many people were missing, but the underwater vessel typically has 5 people on board. Mumbai is counting on a new rail project to improve the city's chaotic public transit. Let's watch this.
Mumbai, where over 11 million people undertake a bruising daily commute that can be chaotic and dangerous. Some 700 people died last year from accidents on tracks. But an ambitious metro rail project is looking to change that by building 14 lines across 220 miles by the year 2030.
The very objective of these metro projects, including Metro Line 3, is to reduce the congestion on the road and to reduce the congestion and overcrowding on the existing public transport network.
The 21-mile-long Aqua Line is key to this transformation. The $4.5 billion line will be fully operational next summer. It's estimated to carry 1.3 million commuters, 85% of which will come from those using roads, says the Mumbai Metro Rail Corporation. The Mumbai Metro project could result in reducing carbon dioxide emissions by roughly 166,000 tons per year, according to an ADB report.
I'm standing about 25 meters below city surface level. This is where Mumbai's Line 3, or the Aqua Line, running from the southern tip of the island city all the way to the north. And the Mumbai Metro plan is at the heart of the many other connectivity projects that are currently underway, whether it's the Coastal Road Project or the Mumbai Trans-Harbour Sea Link or the Navi Mumbai Airport.
City authorities say the various transport projects will cut commuter costs and travel time and will open up vast spaces for development in the Mumbai metropolitan region.
And those are the top world headlines of the hour. Join us again at 9 a.m. as we continue to monitor the day's biggest stories. Coming right up is Agenda at 8 a.m. I'm Diego Castro. We are One News. All sides, all the time.